the signals, goes back to throw. Now looks to take off and run. Elway inside the 10 and dives over the 5-yard line. Great play. Great play by John Elway. Just phenomenal.
Check swing roller. Tulowitzki. Colorado's the National League champion.
Jokic has to put it up. Falling away, puts it up. Bang! Nikola Jokic knocks it down. His foot was on the line. A two-pointer. What a shot.
Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Talkin BS award show. Hosted by me, Steven Zamora. You can follow me on Twitter as ZamoraBSB. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a great show lined up for you folks, and I cannot wait to get into it. This year is wrapping up. Only a handful of games left in the season, so I thought we could go through and give some shine to some aspects that, aren't necessarily rewarded by the NBA after the NBA season. No, we're not naming who's going to win the MVP or Defensive Player of the Year or all NBA teams. No. Today, we're going to be honoring some of the more entertaining and funner aspects of the NBA in this 2024 climate. From best dunker of the year and best pass of the year to something more subjective like best celebration and best hair. Shout out to Nevaeh, my niece, for the award suggestion. With that said, that's where we're going to start. But first, before we get into it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more fun NBA and, possibly MMA, NFL coverage here in the future. Here at Talkin BS, the goal is to cover sports from the box state perspective, hence the BS of the Talkin BS. But with that said, let's get into the awards. We have 15 to give out today, so let's get into it. First off, we're starting with something a little bit fun, a little more innocent. Best hair. So for best hair, we're starting with 4 candidates. Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets, Jaime Jaquez Jr. of the Miami Heat, Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies, and Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz. The winner of the first ever Talkin BS Cup for best hair, Jaime Jaquez Jr. of the Miami Heat, a.k.a. Juan Wick, a.k.a. the best hair in the league. Look at that, man. He's beautiful, isn't he? If only I could have hair like that. Now, let's go on to our next one. Let's move it along. We only got so much time here. Best celebration, right? A lot of celebrations, they come and go, but I feel like these are kind of iconic and they're just going to always stick around even after the guys who created these are retired. And I think it's something fun that the NBA kind of allows that some other sports don't. So I wanted to shine some light on it. Best celebration candidates go Night Night by Stephen Curry. Dame Time, of course, Damian Lillard. Ice in My Veins, made famous by D'Angelo Russell, but pictured here by LeBron James, and Cold Shoulder by Ice Trae. The winner goes to Ice in My Veins. Now, the reason I chose this award, or this winner, is because this is iconic, man. Kids these days, man, you go to any rec center and they hit a big shot, you're going to see that going on. I think that's probably the most iconic celebration of this generation, to be honest. So I wanted to give some shine to it. Next up, we have the Best Free Agent Edition Award. Now, this award is given to the best free agent acquisition over the offseason, okay? This award weighs the amount of money paid to said free agent, the role played on the team, who signed them, and impact that they made on the season for that team as a whole. So this does not include players who were re-signed to the same team. These are only additions to a new team, okay? So let's roll it. We got Eric Gordon, 2 years, $6.5 million deal with the Phoenix Suns. Dante DiVincenzo, a 4-year, $46.8 million deal with the New York Knicks. Dylan Brooks, a 4-year, $86 million deal with the Houston Rockets. And Max Strus with a 4-year, $62 million deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The winner is Max Strus of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the reason I chose Max Strus for this award was a balance of the impact he made on the team, the amount of money that was spent to acquire him, and the fact of the matter is he won them some games, right? I think we're going to see some clips later on in the show that show exactly the type of stuff he was doing for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think it's well-deserved. He was a starter for the Cavaliers for most of the games, and he's had a huge impact and really helped the spacing out on that team. He's one of the better shooters in the league, and he's a very good player. So I think he deserves that award. Next up, we have Hustle Man of the Year. Now, I love this award. This is going to be a staple of this show. I don't care if anybody else likes it. This is going to be an absolute staple of this show because Hustle Man of the Year is something that I think needs to be awarded by the NBA in general. I think it deserves its own award for real, along with MVP and Clutch Player of the Year, all that stuff. I think Hustle Man of the Year deserves its own category. So since the NBA isn't going to do it, leave it to your boy. Let's go with the candidates. We're going to start with Lou Dort of the Oklahoma City Thunder, TJ McConnell of the Indiana Pacers, Josh Hart of the New York Knicks, and Alex Caruso of the Chicago Bulls. My winner of the first ever Hustle Man of the Year award goes to the Hustle Man himself, TJ McConnell of the Indiana Pacers. The reason he deserves this award, man, is because this guy is hustle personified. If you ever watch a Pacers game, you understand that this guy does not stop. His motor is forever. He makes plays. He is just like, he is the epitome of hustle. If you could look up hustle in the dictionary, there should be a picture of TJ McConnell right next to it. All right. Next up, for our fifth award of the day, we got Sniper of the Year. Now, this is going to somebody who goes and makes big shots from the perimeter for their team every game. 4 candidates. All right. Number 1, we got Grayson Allen of the Phoenix Suns. We've got Garrison Matthews of the Atlanta Hawks, Norman Powell of the Los Angeles Clippers, and Luke Kennard of the Memphis Grizzlies. The winner of the first ever Sniper of the Year award, presented by Talkin BS, is Grayson Allen, of course. He has led the league for most of the year in three-point percentage. He was just recently taken over by Garrison Matthews. He was shooting about 48% on threes for the year. He's just been sniping for the Suns. He is a big reason why their offense has been working. He's a great release valve for some driving kicks by KD and Booker, and I think he deserves the first Sniper of the Year award. Now, before we continue, I wanted to give a shout out to those who've helped me throughout the season and those I consider good friends. I couldn't do this, of course, without the help and support of my family, namely my brothers Oso and your boy from the Box Day Boys podcast and our entire media outlet over there. My brother Rob, who's always helping me refine my basketball knowledge. He's one of the most talented hoopers I knew growing up, and he's someone who really loves and cares about the game like I do. I wanted to shout out my homies on Twitter who've been with me when I was a nobody on there, from Steven Reiner, or DJ Nike, P. Watt Muse, Mile High Audi, Flava Ava, and Haley, to some of the newer friends that I've made over there, from Brandon G, Al Boogie, Grace, Fami, all the Boyardees, Drop Step. You guys have really helped me out a lot, and you're always giving me great conversations on hoops. You guys are always testing me on my stuff. You guys are always keeping me sharp. You've changed my perspective on a lot of things going on with hoops, and I appreciate all you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. A big shout out to the homies over at DMVR, namely D-Line Co., Superstar Dev, and Vote. To Matt Moore at the Action Network, all you guys have, showed love to the show before, and I appreciate you guys so much. Even if you don't see this, I hope to be in your guys' place someday, and I can be, host a platform so that other people who want to pursue something like this, I can give them, some shine too. So you guys don't have to do that, and I appreciate that so much. I really do. There's so many more that I forgot to mention. And please know that if I did forget to mention you on here, just know I do got love for you. It's just I, don't have all the time in the world to sit there and shout at every Twitter follower I have. But I appreciate you guys so much. Your guys' kind words and your sentiments have given me courage to pursue this as a passion of mine. And I just wanted to let you guys know, the season's wrapping up here, but I will always have love for you guys in my heart for helping me along the way. I really do appreciate you guys so much. But with that said, we got more awards to get through. We got 10 more to go. So let's get into it, folks. All right. So next up, one of my passions. All right. I spent a lot of time on these now, especially passing, because passing is a something that I've always felt, even before Nikola Jokic came to Denver, was always something I felt was so underrated by, NBA discourse. And, even to this day, right, when we have these amazing, assist guys and playmakers and, guys who are just out here just diming people up and getting the easiest buckets for all their teammates. I just feel like it is such an underrated aspect of the NBA, of basketball in general. First up, we got Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers, Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks, Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, and Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. The first ever Best Playmaker award presented by Talkin BS goes to Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. Now, let me explain this, because it is going to seem like bias because I am a Denver Nuggets fan. Going through this, like I said, I spent countless hours looking into this. Tyrese Halliburton had an amazing game, 2 games in a row, as a matter of fact, where he had a 23 assist night and a 20 assist night. He deserves recognition, right? Trae Young, he had, going through, I was looking, because I have another award for passing later on, looking at clips, and like Trae Young has some of the sweetest dimes in the NBA, like some of the best passing I've ever seen. Luka Doncic, right? Him as well. Everybody knows he's a superstar for a reason. His passing is underrated. It really is. Like if you look at Luka, you automatically think like, oh, 35 points a game. He's scoring 70-point games every other, like twice a year. But his passing is just so underrated, man. His court vision, his accuracy, his IQ is just off the charts, man. Nikola Jokic has passes like that, like these guys do, like once a game. I literally had to hit up the homies on Reddit and be like, what was the best pass of the season by Nikola Jokic? Because I can't pick one. Like I literally had the hardest time trying to pick a pass that was his best pass of the season, because he just has so many. So yes, it does seem biased, but I promise you, I feel like Nikola Jokic really is, like, honestly, by far the best playmaker in the NBA. Next up, we got the most entertaining player award. This is a fun one. So the most entertaining player, it's a bit subjective, right? Of course, everybody's going to probably have a different answer. But I feel like these candidates are all the embodiment of entertaining basketball in today's NBA, right? These guys are some of the best scorers, of course, but they're also like characters, man. Like they really are characters. They're just the epitome of entertainment. At the end of the day, we watch basketball to be entertained, right? Nobody's literally sitting there watching these games with a calculator in their hand and, watching for advanced statistics. It's the reason I love basketball, man, because these are the greatest athletes in the world. And, the entertainment part and aspect of this is why a lot of people get into it, right? So these guys are bringing in fans like no other. And I think they just deserve more shine because, that is such a hard task. And, these guys deserve this shine. Number 1, we got Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs, and Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Your winner for the most entertaining player award goes to Victor the Alien Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs. The kid is the first overall pick in the most recent draft. He's 7 foot, at least 7'4", probably 7'5", maybe 7'6". He has handles like a guard. He moves like a small guy. He can shoot threes. He can pass. Like, that's another thing. I think people underrate how good of a passer Wembanyama really is, because this kid is he's a legit playmaker. You watch his games. I remember like one of the first highlights I seen of him from a real game. He dunked from near the free throw line. I think it was against Boston or something. I think it was Boston. Derek White went to go like steal the ball, poke the ball out from behind him, and he just picked it up, jumped from like almost the free throw line. It looked like he was going to do a finger roll and was like, oh no, I could dunk it. Bam. Like nuts. He looks like Michael Jordan at the end of Space Jam when he has to stretch his arm out to make the dunk. He's incredible, man. He really is. It's wild to watch him. They have one more. The Nuggets have one more game against the Spurs at the end of the season. I really want to go to that game. If not, no big deal. I really want to see a Victor Wembanyama game in person, man. Like, to be honest, when Jokic retires, man, I might end up being a Victor Wembanyama stan. I am like so high on that kid. Don't forget to drink water, kids. I've been telling people all year, I've even gotten pushback on this, but he's going to be a rival to Jokic by next year. Like, he's going to be putting up stats on Jokic by next year. I think the Spurs, you add one good like point guard to that team to play with Wemby, and like they're going to be a playoff team. He's that special. I think he's that good, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for that guy. Now, one of the funnest awards you're ever going to see on this show. Something I believe is going to be a staple for a long time too. And something that doesn't get enough shine as it is either, because this is what brings people to the sport a lot of the time, right? You know what? Let's get into it. Our candidates for Best Dunker of the Year. We got high-flying Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets, Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Big Bad Jonathan Kuminga, and the chosen one, Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the winner of the Dunker of the Year award goes to none other than Anthony Ant Edwards. The guy put up one of the most amazing dunks I've ever seen. Picture there by jumping damn near over the rim, shoving a forearm in John Collins' face and throwing it down on him, man. He has so many good dunks this year. I couldn't go with anybody else but him. The kid's an athletic freak. He's charming. He's hilarious. He's legit going to be one of my favorite players in the future. I hate that he's with the Timberwolves because I have to cheer against him all the time now, as he's in our division and everything. But like, as an NBA fan, man, he's one of my favorite players. He is just like, he is so entertaining. He's so fun to watch. He was just barely beat out by Wemby for the most entertaining player award, but I wanted to give him some shine here. Not to say that this award was made for him, but it kind of was, right? I mean, best dunker of the year, man. He earned it. He is elite at that. Best mid-season trade acquisition. All right. So this is just trades that happened as the season was going along. So our candidates for this award go to PJ Washington of the Dallas Mavericks, Gordon Hayward of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Pascal Siakam of the Indiana Pacers, and OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks. The winner of the Best Midseason Trade Acquisition Award goes to OG Anunoby of the New York Knicks. The reason I went with OG here is because he came to New York and he completely flipped that team. Not completely flipped that team. Like, New York was a very good team as it was, but nobody took them serious. OG made them a serious threat. He is arguably the best defender in the NBA, pound for pound. He is a handful to deal with for any perimeter player. He can handle his own in the post. He's strong. He's long. He's just a defensive ace. He is a master at that. and he fits New York's culture to a T. He is someone that Tibbs probably just fell in love with as soon as they got him. He fits in like a glove with that team. He's like a 40% 3-point shooter. He's just everything that New York needed. I seen somebody tweet this the other day, but like other than Denver, like if Denver didn't exist, New York might be the like definition of team basketball. Like all their players, the way they fill their roles and do their thing for Tibbs. I think this has an argument as the best team that Tibbs has ever had, including those old Bulls teams. Tibbs has a real good standing with making players fit a mold and fit into a team concept, and playing good defense, of course, and playing hard and always giving great effort. And that was such a good trade for the Knicks. All right, we're getting there. We're getting near the end here. We got a few more to go. Most Entertaining Team Award. Now, this award is kind of a bunch of teams that, just all those aspects that just, when you turn on the TV and you go to League Pass and you see one of these teams playing, chances are you're hitting that game. So, without further ado, our candidates for Most Entertaining Team Award are the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Denver Nuggets, the Houston Rockets, and the Indiana Pacers. And your winner for Most Entertaining Team Award goes to the Indiana Pacers. I had to go with Indiana here. Yes, I'm a Nuggets fan. I love the Nuggets with all my heart. But I had to go with Indiana here because if you had the Indiana game on, you don't know if they were going to get blown out by 40 or blow a team out by 40. All these like funky players and like they're just a really entertaining team. I'm pretty sure they had the best offense still throughout the season. They're just, man, that is a fun team to watch. Shout out to Houston too. That's another team. Like I love Houston. Coming into the season, that was my pick as like my league pass team. Because last year it was Orlando, this year was Houston, and then Oklahoma City, right? I was so excited to see Chet. SGA is on otherworldly. J-Dub, big J-Dub guy. I had it on my last video. If you get a chance, go watch it. Big praises for J-Dub. I was real high on him before the draft. So a lot of really fun players, a lot of really good teams here, but had to give it to Indiana, man. Now we're going to get into the video segment. Starting off here with best pass of the year. Like I said earlier, I spent a ton of time looking through this. But I had to really spend hours going back and looking into this. So I feel like I have a pretty good perspective on this. With that said, these are my favorite passes of the year. Let's roll the tape.
And the Pacers go for the final shot, as Quinn mentioned. Halliburton front court, all the way to the basket, lobs it up to Toppin.
With style, that is.
And we'll see them on the road trip. We'll also see one of the hottest teams in OKC. Threading it through the defense. Doncic finds him in the corner.
Simons will speed out of backcourt, looking to cut between defenders. He got stood up and racked. Curry, a spin pass on a wraparound maneuver. Up the floor for the jackhammer for Moody.
Best pass of the year goes to Luka Doncic's half court, across the court, nutmeg. I have never seen a pass like that. Jokic's lob was a close second, I'm not gonna lie. But I had to put my bias aside. That Luka pass is disgusting. To pass between a guy's legs that's like 20-something feet away from you is like fucking like Luka, like passing the ball between a guy's legs who's like 15 feet away from you. Like I can understand if the guy is like directly guarding you and you nutmeg him and you're, that's hard enough as it is, especially in the NBA. LeBron's on the other side of the court and he didn't have time to react to the ball flying between his legs. And the ball ended up like right in the hands of the 3-point shooter. Mind blown, bro. Best shot of the year. This is a big award because a lot of these are, all these are like game-winning shots, and they're just crazy. Ice in your veins. These are cold-blooded killers. All these guys, deserve this shine, and I hope you guys enjoy these.
2 seconds left. The Cavs are out of timeouts. They have to go 94 feet. Strus from midcourt. Oh! Do you believe this?
Whoa! My goodness!
Max Strus from midcourt has won it for the Cavaliers.
Pajemski has it. Here come the screens. Curry comes free. Gets the ball. Puts up a three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry nails the three-pointer with 7/10 of a second remaining.
Kleba to inbound. Kleba looking in for Irving. Irving for the win. Oh my! A southpaw finish from Kyrie Irving. Just absurd.
Morant's going to get ahead of steam with a chance to win it in his return. Here goes Morant. He spins. Morant scores! And the timer expires. Count the basket. And Ja Morant wins it for the Grizzlies.
And the winner, the Kyrie Irving left-handed hook shot over Nikola Jokic to win the game for the Dallas Mavericks. Watching this game, I was stunned. I was sitting there with my jaw down. The timeline was honestly like they were just in flames, man. It was all over ESPN. It was like literally viral. That shot was incredible. Kyrie is that dude, man. Like, can't even say anything otherwise. I know a lot of people were pissed off about it as Nuggets fans, but like, that's Kyrie, man. Kyrie does stuff like that, and that's just who he is. That's the kind of stuff he does. Left-handed, over a 7-footer, skyhook from the free throw line. The Strus shot, we've seen, buzzer beaters like that. Like, that was an incredible shot, but like, we've seen stuff like that before. Stephen Curry, he hits those. That was a big game, but it's a Steph Curry shot. Ja, that was like, I think it was like Ja's first or second game back. Like, that was incredible. But as far as pure shots and like purely on just how difficult the shot was, that shot is nuts by Kyrie. So I had to give him a shine. Shout out to Kyrie on that one. Game of the year. Now I had to go to Reddit. Shout out to our NBA on Reddit. Got a lot of good recommendations from the folks over there. So if you're seeing this and you were one of the people, thank you so much for your recommendations. I had to go with 4 choices here. So I whittled all of those down, the multiple, recommendations I got. And these are the 4 best that I could come up with. All these games were nuts. I ended up watching all these games that they recommended to me, spent a whole day just going through and watching all these games, and they were just incredible games. So first off, January 27th, 2024, the Lakers win a double overtime game against the Golden State Warriors, 145-144. Stephen Curry has a dirty ankle breaker on Anthony Davis to take it to overtime. Double overtime. A lot of the calls went the Lakers' way, and the Lakers end up winning it 145-144. Celtics and the Timberwolves, November 6, 2023. The Wolves win 114-109 in overtime. The game before the overtime was absolutely crazy. It was going back and forth for the longest time. This is before we knew that these were going to be 2 of the best teams in the league. I mean, I'm sure we all knew the Celtics were going to be really good. We didn't think they were going to be, by far the number 1 team in the league. The Timberwolves were the number 1 seed in the West for the longest time. So this was a battle of the 2 best teams throughout most of the season. The Wolves end up winning it. Jaden McDaniels with a big shot down in the clutch to win them that game. Cavaliers, and the Dallas Mavericks, February 27th, 2024. The Cavaliers win 121-119 on a game winner by Max Strus from behind the half-court line. This one was absolutely nuts. Went viral. Big shot by Max Strus there. And our last candidate, the Milwaukee Bucks versus the San Antonio Spurs. The Bucks win 125 to 121. This is the first game where Giannis and Wemby faced off. Wemby has a huge block on Giannis to save the game for them, or to save that shot for them. The Bucks do end up winning by 4 points in regulation, but big game there. It was very close the entire time. Incredible game. But I'm going to have to go with the Cavs and the Mavs game on the 27th of February. To win on a game winner like that, it was going back and forth for the longest time. The Mavericks were actually up by 10 points with like less than 4 minutes to go, and then Max Strus started going off, right? I think he hit like 3 3-pointers in a row. Donovan Mitchell comes down, hits another 2 3-pointers to bring them all the way back. They get tied up at 119. After I think it was Kyrie or somebody hits like a layup, and then Max Strus inbounds, runs it 3/4 of the court up, heaves it, bam, game-winning shot. It was incredible. Cavs jump on him all over, on the court, and just game of the year, man. That game was so fun. So this is going to be the last award of the day, and I wanted to give it to Performance of the Year, right? This is the award for who had the best performance throughout the entire NBA season. One particular game by each of these players. I went through, I found, these are some of the highest rated games on television. These were some of the best games played throughout the season. Incredible outputs by all these guys. So even if they didn't win the award, like, just to be mentioned in this, I think should be one of the highest honors. I think this is one that the NBA really should, give an award to as well, because like to have performances like this, I think deserves some type of credit. So we're going to start with Nikola Jokic versus the Cleveland Cavaliers on March 31st. He finishes the game with a 26, 18, and 16 game. This game was incredible. Jokic just had complete control of the game the entire time. The numbers do not do it justice for how he dismantled the Cleveland Cavs. Joel Embiid versus the San Antonio Spurs on January 22nd. This is Embiid versus Wemby, the only matchup they had all year. He finishes with 70 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. They showed a clip before the game where Embiid walks up behind Wemby while he's not looking and like looks at him all crazy and is like, "Oh shit, this guy's big! Like that's nuts." And then he does like a Hail Mary cross, pray to God, like all right. And then he goes in and just bodies the kid. Wemby ends up finishing with like 33 points as well. So it was just a great back and forth game between two of the best bigs in the league. But Embiid just is nuts, man. Embiid he is incredible. He is one of the best scorers I've ever seen in my life. Luka Doncic versus the Atlanta Hawks on January 26th. This is just a few days after the Embiid 70-point game. He finishes with 73 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. He went absolutely off. He just cooked the Hawks possession after possession. He just is an incredible scorer, one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. And last but not least, Tyrese Halliburton versus the New York Knicks on December 30th, just before New Year's. Finishes with 22 points, 23 assists. That is an NBA high for the season. The most assists in the entire season, and 5 rebounds. He was on one that game. It's actually incredible because the game before that they played, I want to say Toronto maybe. I don't remember who it was exactly, but there was a game 2 days before that. He got 20 assists. Then he comes out on the 30th and has 23 assists. Like this was prime Tyrese, man. This is prime Hallie. This is like the best span of the season for him. And this is why people were like, this guy is he's like the next superstar up. He just went nuclear against them, and he had a wonderful game. But there can only be one, and I am sad to say that there can only be one. But with that said, the winner of Performance of the Year award, presented by Talkin BS, is Luka Doncic versus the Atlanta Hawks on January 26th. The 73-point game. It was the season high for the most points scored this season. They literally started reffing the games differently because of this game. Just nuts. The guy went off. He had a 73-point double-double. we might not ever see that again. He's just incredible. Luka is insane. And that was one of the best performances I've ever seen and is the performance of the year. So with that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am way over my time here, but it was a lot of fun. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing this every year before the end of the season. What I want to do next year, though, is I want to put these awards out there, and I want to be able to, hopefully I have a good following next year. I can put this out there for you guys, and I can, have you guys vote on all these instead of just being like, this is what I think. So that was kind of originally the plan when I was coming up with this, but I think it'd be better to have you guys vote on these things and give me your feedback on them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully, you guys had fun. Hopefully these awards do get picked up sometime by the NBA. If not, you come here to Talkin BS. You see who gets them every year. I really enjoyed myself here, and I really hope you guys enjoyed yourselves as well. With that said, Talkin BS, we out. I love you guys. Playoffs, baby.